The holy war can still be plotted in communion with others. Samir, the Arab spy who claims to have infiltrated Al-Qaeda, told me there was no doubt about the purpose of the two camps he visited, nor the motivation for the Australians he observed. This is his account, an actor conveying exactly what he said to me.
These Australians and other students are being trained for terrorist missions. No question. Their value is in their Australian passports.
Who's running these camps? Who's in control?
Well, the money, it comes from Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries. But their leader is Anwar al-Awlaki. He is their spiritual guiding father. He is second only to Osama bin Laden. He knows that the internet is more powerful than the gun.
Al-Qaeda is many things, but it's not stupid. And it understands that if it can recruit people who don't fit profiles, who can breeze through airports, who don't raise any alarms, that again, this is a very potent weapon in their hands.
Australian intelligence agencies say there are at least 20 Australian citizens who've disappeared from the radar after going to Yemen. Does that surprise you?
Not particularly. In another place, they might end up in an urban gang. In another place, they might be part of a drug cartel. I think it's a deeper phenomena, and some of them drift into jihadism. But the question is why?
You know, I think injustice radicalizes people. The root causes are that we create an environment that makes it easy to radicalize people. And we're going to have to stop there.
A nation running out of water and running out of oil can barely look after itself, let alone fight wars from within. This frail state is not yet a failed state. But for as long as these deserts are fertile ground for Al-Qaeda, the world will care about Yemen for perhaps all the wrong reasons.
As we've been recording this programme, anti-government protests have again flared up in Yemen, with thousands of marchers demonstrating across the country. Their target, President Ali Abdullah Saleh, has said he will step down after national elections are held in 2013. But he has rejected protesters' demands that he leave office now. Such is the pace of events in the region that by our next episode, that state of affairs may have changed. That's all for this edition of People and Power. If you'd like to comment on our film or any other matter, we'd love to hear from you on aljazeera.net/English. Until next time, bye-bye.
He's taken stolen goods and he's now dumping them onto the world without any sort of consideration for consequences.
From people making the news.
If the North will be saved a lot of trouble, I think it is important that they should come together.
To those it affects.
We do accept that there was very bad mistakes made in our banking area.
Behind the headlines.
Most South Koreans are not interested in reunification.
Is the inside story. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Afghanistan is faced with a huge challenge.
Relations have gone really sour between us and our allies.
We have inflicted considerable damage on the enemy.
The people who make international headlines.
Ultimately, the truth will out.
They want to stop this publication of information that embarrasses them.
Make time for Sir David Frost. Frost over the world. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera focused in the face of danger.
Israeli commandos descended upon the ship.
We focused on political change and political miscalculations. On the power of one voice and the pain of a people. We focused when the world froze
has delivered so little
and countries burnt. Throughout Europe, we focus on news and documentaries that matter to you. Al Jazeera, television that truly inspires.
It is in the details. A look. A connection. The moments that reveal the truth. Award-winning documentaries from critically acclaimed filmmakers. Witness documentaries to open your eyes. At this time on Al Jazeera.
The relocation of the Ahmadiyya has magnified the issue of religious intolerance in Indonesia. Is this inevitable in a multicultural society? And is the government turning a blind eye?
101 East at this time on Al Jazeera.
I'm Tony Bertley reporting from Sri Lanka on the front lines with the Sri Lankan army as they're pushing the Tamil Tigers back.
Can you hear me okay?
If they see you filming, they're going to take your camera. This could be a trap. Rural areas and villages like this are the prime hunting ground for the traffickers. And what answer is he given when he asks about where the woman is?
Well, there were jubilant scenes when the freed hostages were reunited with their families.
Tony Bertley, Al Jazeera.
If you're a Nokia user, you can download Al Jazeera's news widget from Nokia's Ovi store. The news widget, available on compatible Nokia devices, gives users quick and easy access to real-time news updates from Al Jazeera English. See the world in real time. Al Jazeera Mobile.
Ready to fight to meet the Libyans willing to take up arms against Muammar Gaddafi's stronghold. For GMT, I'm Darine Abu Gaida. This is Al Jazeera live from Doha. Also coming up, they're willing, but is the army able? A stark assessment of the weak firepower at the rebels' disposal.
They love me, all my people with me. They love me all.
A man in a corner and in denial what Muammar Gaddafi wants the world to know. And a call for help for Libya's refugees. Aid is needed for the thousands spilling over the borders. So the Libyan leader, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, appears either blissfully unaware or unwilling to acknowledge the tens of thousands of people across the country who want him to step down. Libya's former interior minister and head of special forces has told Al Jazeera his men have enough weaponry for a march to the capital, Tripoli. While the outside world is closing in as well, the U.S. has begun moving warships and aircraft carriers closer to Libya's shores. $30 billion worth of Libyan assets in the United States have been blocked. Europe is following suit. And in an unprecedented move, the Human Rights Council unanimously voted to condemn Libya, paving the way for the country's expulsion from the 47-member UN body. Well, Abdel Fattah Yunus used to be Libya's interior minister and head of the Libyan Special Forces. He renounced his posts last week, and he's now leading what appears to be a growing rebel army. Our correspondent